This is called the shear line. This is the most important part of the lock. Let me show you how I got to it. How to rekey a Kwikset smart key doorknob. Let me walk you through this. First things first, I talked about that shear line. That is the most important part of any lock. If that shear line is not flat, no key works, no lock turns. Let me show you what I'm talking about. We need to get this face off, and I'm going to show you how to do this. First things first, jump online, Amazon, Google. This is a Kwikset cylinder removal tool. Very inexpensive, $3, $4 max. Grab yourself one of these. First things first, you have to use one of these to get this face off, and let me show you why. So here's the lock and unlock on the inside of the door. Once you take that apart, it's this spindle right here that we are now dealing with. Right here. This is the lock and unlock. And let me show you exactly what happens when we lock this lock and why these doorknobs aren't the best security in the world. This is unlocked. That's locked. That right there is what everything you own is being protected by. See that? Unlocked. Locked. Let me show you how we're going to rekey this, and let me show you why this tool is so important and an absolutely must-have in order to repin these. Let's rekey this lock. First things first, we're going to move this to the neutral position. That's locked, that's unlocked. We want it to go right in the middle, just like that. And on the back side here, you can see this little bar. See that little bar right there? That little bar is spring-loaded, right? See that? So what we're going to do is we are going to push up. Once that is in the neutral position, grab it with your thumb. We are now pushing up like this. As we push up, release this. And whammo, you see right there that everything just broke loose. We're going to use that tool. We're going to stick in here and grab it with your thumb. And now we're going to release. Sometimes you got to move a little right, left, a little right, left. And now we're going to take that spindle out. Now with that tool, we have to use the fork end of this tool. And remember that spring that we just messed with back here? You can see what it took. Let me move this. You can see what it moves right there, right? So you're going to use this fork. This fork won't go straight back in there. So you have to tilt this fork and get under that little plate, just like that. And now once we get inside there, you're going to use that tool. You're going to go to the left. You're going to go to the right. Find the very middle and hold it there and tap it. Once we tap it, look, the face comes out. The reason you need this tool is because this tool is designed to grab these right here. And by squeezing that, that's how the lock comes right out of the face. Okay, now that we got you to this point, let's go ahead and put this spindle back in. Very important. We're going to set it right there. We're going to use this end of our tool, stick it right here. Put your thumb on the spindle. Actually, you don't need to, right here. Rock it back and forth. We want to make sure that it turns, locks, unlocks. It does. Put it into the neutral position and set that aside. Now we're going to work on this. Remember that shear line? Let's get to this. So using this end of the tool, we're going to put this right here and we're going to rock. We're going to put your finger right here. We're going to rock this right and left, up and down, right and left. Okay, see how it opened that? Do not let go of that because it will spring away and land somewhere. And whammo, that's what we need to get off. Very, very important. We already have a working key for this lock, and if you don't have a working key, I have other videos on how to shim a lock. For this video, we are going to use what we already have. So right here, we're going to use the existing key. We're going to go ahead and turn the key 90 degrees. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get a plug follower, and we're going to push right there. We're going to push all of this out. And we're going to replace, we took this and we left this in there. And that is so all of the springs and things that we have inside these locks, that way it doesn't come out and spring and go everywhere. There it is right there. You can see there is one of the top pins and you can see it's spring loaded. So we leave those up there in the Bible. I'm going to show you one top pin. This is what we're doing. You need to understand this. Up here is called the Bible. Up here we have a top spring. Right below that, a top pin. And then down below that, here's the bottom pin. We're going to be changing the bottom pins, but let me show you what the top pins do, and that will help further understand the shear line. So right here is the top pin, okay? I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. See how that top pin and top spring have now fallen out. So now that chamber is empty. So let me go ahead and reload this. So this spring is always pushing that top pin down to the shear line, okay? So there is our spring. There's our top pin. We're going to push it down in there and whammo. So now that you know what's up there, that's where that top spring went and that top pin. Those guys are pushing down. And on the shear line that we just discussed a few minutes ago, this shear line has to be perfectly flat. When we put in the right key, we put in pins. And let me show you what these pins are, right? See, these pins are all kind of a different size, if you will. So those two are the same, but these other ones are different. You can see that on the key, those two are cut. The third one's longer. So based on the depth of the cut determines how long of a bottom pin we use. Here is that pinning kit that we use, right? You don't have to go buy a whole big one. You can buy individual pins like at the big box store just to rekey one of these Kwikset doorknobs or deadbolts. So those are all of our pins. So let's talk about that shear line. So again, if this shear line is not flat, this key, this plug does not turn at all. You can see right there that those pins are flat. If we put in the wrong key, see how that pin crosses the shear line, goes up into the Bible? Even more importantly, look at that number 5 and number 1. Those top pins from the Bible push down past the shear line and go into this. So just one of these needs to stick up not even half that height, and this key will not work. So that's exactly why every lock works or does not work, is because of this shear line. This has to be perfect. If this is flat, no bottom pins pushing up, no top pins pushing down, this will turn perfectly in the lock. Let's check it out. Okay, here's our key. We're going to go ahead and put in our key, and we can look at this and basically see the depths of these. So each of these are going to be the same. This is going to be longer, a little shorter, and the same as the first ones, right? So we put the key in, and we put one pin at a time. If that is flat, whammo, that's a perfect shear line. So we're going to go to the second one. That works good. That is our shear line. Again, if this shear line is not flat, this lock will not work, no matter how good or new or old or what have you. This is usually the problem when keys start giving you trouble. They start wearing down and the pins start to drop below the shear line. They start to drop below. But now that that's perfect, look, we can now slide this in. And when you slide these in, don't slide the pins in line with the Bible right there, right? Turn this like this. So see how these are lined up? So go ahead and turn this, push this through, and whammo. If this works, you want to make sure to hold on to this plug with your finger. If not, when you pull this key out, see how it's going to pull everything. It's going to pull all the guts and everything out. Make sure to hold that. That way you can test your key, and you can do this. Test your other key and put your finger on it. Once we're done, we're going to go back to that clip. We're going to put that clip on there, just like so. There we go. Try it one more time, and whammo, it works. So this part you do not have to do right now. I would recommend not doing it right now. You don't have to put the face on, but typically when I pull a door off of a lock, I always mark the top. That way I know that the key goes to the top. But you put this on your door right now, however you put it. Once it's screwed in there, make sure that the key is not upside down. Make sure the key is the right direction, and you're just going to snap it right in. Just like this, you're going to push it right in. Whammo, it's going to pop. Turn right, and it's locked. Turn left, and it's unlocked. So thank you for watching, and that is exactly how you rekey a Kwikset. This is part of my new Locks Made Simple project. Locksmithblueprint.com. Go check us out.